Hello, and welcome to my second installment of improvising in E minor blues. So the previous lesson that I talked about was dealing with learning the foundation of improvising is knowing all your notes on the neck, and then learning your 5 shapes. So we're dealing with E minor. So I went through those 5 shapes. Now, when improvising, you're going to have something to record yourself on. There's just no possible way to get good at improvising without playing something along with some sort of backing track. So a loop pedal is going to be your best friend. Now, the foundation of 12-bar blues is the progression is what's called a 1-4-5 progression. Okay, so you got your E, then it goes to A, then it goes back to E, back to A, and then you have your B. Okay, so you got your 1-4-5. Your 1 is your E, your 4 is your A, and your 5 is your E. So in improvising, you really have to know the names of those shapes as opposed to what chord you're playing. So you have to match the shapes to the chord that you're playing over top of. So your ear has to be in tune to soloing over whatever chord you're soloing, because the scale shapes and the notes have to go along with that. If it doesn't, it sounds scattered, okay, and incoherent. So when I say that learning the notes along the neck, how essential it is very essential, but in blues is the greatest place to start improvisation, because you really don't actually have to know the chord tones of the backing track or whatever chords you're improvising over in blues. When we get to major scales, major keys, that is going to apply. We're going to have to know. But in blues, it's a great place to start because you don't really have to know the chord. You know, there's a triad usually in each chord, and you really don't need to have to know that. But you do have to know the names of the notes on at least the 6th string, because if you're playing an E, you have to start your solos on that E pentatonic. But you don't always have to start on that actual E shape there. There's an E over here too as well on the 5th string, 7th fret. So I just went from E there to E there. So again, you have to know the notes along the neck. But to start improvising, you can actually just get away with knowing 3 shapes, because you're dealing with 3 chords, the E, the A, and the B, okay? So when we did those 5 shapes, again, this universal one that everybody knows starts on the 12th fret, which is an E. Then the other shape starts on, that you're gonna need for the A chord, starts on the 5th fret. And again, we're dealing with these 5 shapes that I went through last time. So these shapes, this one on the 5th fret is 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 4-7, 5-8, 5-7. Okay, so when the progression goes to the A, you're going to want to start on that 5th fret. So your scales and your solos sound like they go to the chord. And then when it goes to the B, which is the 5 chord, you're going to want to start your solo on the 7th fret, which is the B. Of course, these are all shapes that are dealing with the A minor. So that's kind of the basic foundation of improvising, and that's where I start everybody off. So you're aware that your chords are going to pertain to whatever scale shapes you're playing. Okay, so that's important. Eventually we're going to start spreading out these shapes along the neck, but it's a great place to start because it sounds like your scales are going to match whatever chords that you're soloing over. Okay, so again, if the chord is on E, it goes to A, back to E, and then A, and then the B. You know, it sounds like it goes with that chord. You know, that shape goes with the chord. So it's a great place to, because your ear has to be aware of whatever the chord is doing on the backing track. So your scale shapes will match that. and it'll sound coherent to the listener, and it's much more enjoyable. And it's, again, a great foundation for a stepping stone to start improvising. Because again, you're being aware of what scales and what sort of notes pertaining to the chords. Again, the foundation of all improvisation, okay? So that's my second installment. I hope that helps, and we're gonna get into some more stuff after that. Okay, have a great day. Cheers.